of the orbit cycle, week 31. Notice that was earlier because the black stars move left in the orbit diagram. It takes us longer to come around in orbit. And if we go down to this recent week, then I moved everything back just a little bit. Outside orbit position should be in week 30. And I had it at maybe 20. You see, this is where we've got the 192, the low value. But these 2.54 magnitude earthquakes are gradually, they're not serving the purpose they're supposed to so well. Remember, eventually the the modeling is going to break down, and these numbers are just going to go up. And right now, so we have 266 this week for week 31. Week 31 last year we had 199. See, so we've got 67 earthquake events more. And if you look at earthquake 3D, you can kind of get an idea of why, what's happened over the last week. And 5 new volcanic eruptions. My concern is right over here. If you look at the depths, we just had a 55-kilometer earthquake that was a week ago that was just removed. It just went outside this timeline. But these quakes from this swarm right here, you see you're having another earthquake right now. These have been 3, 4, 5, up to 10 kilometers deep, and that's where it's been since this investigation began. Now you're seeing numbers. You see the 31 there, 22. There was a 55 here yesterday. That took place apparently 8 days ago, and that is why you're seeing more magma intrusion. You're seeing look at how much wider this quake swarm area has enlarged and how it's pushing north. And this line that I told you about last week from Washington State down through Texas, right? This new cluster right here and the deepening of that cluster. See, these last couple are just 9 and 10 kilometers deep, but we've had earthquakes up in this area as deep as, like I just said, 55 kilometers deep. That's going to give you that upwelling, but it's still not as serious as what I'm expecting. See the depth of these earthquakes over on this side and the depth of the earthquakes in the Alaska quake swarm area, the Mexican quake swarm area down this way. You see how deep they are? More than 100 kilometers deep. I'm expecting this to converge right here, and we're seeing the uptick in activity, and the depths are deepening, but we just haven't quite got there yet. What's the and you can see much of the same thing going on over here in Europe. You see 86 kilometers. So the deeper these earthquakes get, the upwelling is going to take place. This gigantic supervolcano they have right here where I'm circling, this is going to be more and more affected. This is activity that came over from Nepal, and it is now in Europe, and this has got to affect the supervolcano that they have over here too. So do you see this line that's come across, and this line moving, big giant line moving from Japan, well, Nepal, Japan, and over to the Alaskan quake swarm area. But this is where it stops, and partly because Cascadia, this is locked right in here. This is where we're expecting the linchpin event, and then that causes this activity to look more like this. When that happens, Yellowstone will be affected, definitely, especially if we get the deeper quakes like the 500-kilometer range. How deep is this earthquake right here? Am I going to be able to see it? It's almost 400 kilometers deep. And when this type of activity moves across the ocean, which it already has down in this area, then this is the convergence zone right here. This is coming up from the south. This is coming down from the north. This is where they converge right here. Could be in the month of September that we see this stuff happening. September, October looks like extremely rocky. And that's pretty much what I wanted to show you for the earthquake events where we are in the solar system right now. I haven't set this up yet. I hope you guys will forgive me. I'm just a little bit off today. Let's look at the constellations. Saturn is pretty much our marker. Black star's been trailing Saturn. Back in 2010, that was 23 days. Then it was actually Saturn was moving faster left in the orbit diagram than the black star. Now the black star is catching up. And Earth is beyond outside orbit position. We know the black star was April 25th in the feet. Now it should be pushed more into Libra. Now the fact that we have no 6 magnitude earthquakes for the last 2 weeks, at least that's what the USGS is telling us. Then, to me, this is a warning sign that as we move just a little bit farther forward here, the black star is increasing velocity. See, if we're moved to outside orbit, it takes longer for us to get to outside orbit position if the black star is moving faster left in the orbit diagram. So that's what it looks like is happening, but the black star is coming in this direction. Now we're in the headlights. So we've already been to outside orbit. Now we're right here. As we're moving through the month of September, we're in the beginning of October. This is where the black star reaches perihelion at Venus orbit, like right here. It's just not there yet, but it is coming towards us. So the magnetic portal connection when we were around here was actually shorter. So here we moved to outside orbit position and stretched that thing because Earth orbital velocity is faster than the black star inbound velocity. As long as that's true, we're going to have that lull in the seismic chart. Now when we come around here, we're in back orbit. See, we're not moving away from the black star as quickly as we were on the near orbit portion. So now the magnetic portal connection, once it tightens up, because now we've made the curve, and it's coming straight towards us. So the magnetic portal connection is going to straighten more. It's going to become shorter rapidly. And then you're going to start seeing these larger earthquakes. You're going to see Mary Greeley going crazy over what's happening in Yellowstone. She's not quite doing that yet. Yes, this is more magma intrusion because you have some deeper quakes that are nearby, but that is going to intensify. And I think over this next 2 months, this is a very critical period. This is the most critical time right here for this entire 8-month period, because this is when we're right in the headlights of the black star. The most important time is when we get to outside orbit position and start moving towards the black star. That's when we saw the big earthquake activity earlier in the year, whenever we're in this area. So it's very predictable. We're going to have a backside alignment event when we're right. It should take place right along in here. I don't know if it's because of the magnetic portal connection passing behind, being pulled behind us, if that's why we're having the events about 2 weeks late. So right around December the 1st is whenever you're going to see the solar flare activity. And out here at outside orbit position, there's almost no solar flare activity. And that's what we're seeing now. That's what we should see on both sides of the solar system. But whenever we're near the black star over here, then you get the solar flares taking place just after the alignment. And on the back side, they take place just before the alignment. So that's what we're looking for moving forward. September looks like it's going to be a very rocky month for our planet. The hesitation in the larger magnitude earthquakes coming tells me the pressure is building. The pressure is really, really building. And that pressure is going to have to go somewhere. And the place where I feel like that it's going to show up is right here, western coast of the United States. And I've made videos about it, warning for people that are out here, anywhere along this coast. But anywhere around the Pacific Ocean Ring of Fire, we have a gigantic event here. It affects everybody on the Pacific Ocean Ring of Fire. So that's what the situation looks like right now. I want to the Lonely Hero, one Lonely Hero. This is week 31 of the 2015 orbit cycle. And now Clifford is the only person on the planet that has a subscription status. So whenever you subscribe, then you're given a subscription status based upon the date. So whenever you write me, I can see that you're a regular sub and that you subscribed. The date is right there beside your name. No renewals this week for the last 4 years. Nobody has subscribed during this week, week 31, over the last 4 years and stayed with supporting the research. So Clifford, you're all by yourself right here in week 31. And I just wanted to give him accolades for being the hero of the week. Then there's a brief description down here about what happened yesterday. It was like 100 degrees outside. Had to get my trailer moved. Didn't have much help. Lots and lots of problems. Just For those that don't know, so many people think I'm in my 40s. Most of the time I act like I'm in my 40s, but I'm actually almost 60 years old. Still pretty strong, but absolutely overdid it yesterday. And doing this information, getting the newsletter ready today, then I realized I need to go. I need to go lay down somewhere. The lots of information here about the super volcano, that it's alive and kicking, and you're going to see much more of that moving forward. And there's Maya's Nibiru images. I post this kind of information in the newsletter to let everybody make up their own mind. My view, Don's view, our resident astronomer, there are no pictures of the black star. There are a lot of pictures of two suns and all this thing from sundogs, from lens anomalies. You know, there's a lot of that kind of thing going on. But we are at the right triangle to the black star. It's transitioning into the daytime sky. If we're behind the sun relative to the black star, then perhaps I'm going to be willing to look at a dual image of the sun. But Don knows the location. We know where it's at, transitioning from the Virgo to the Libra constellation. We know the optimum observation windows. We look. We know we can't see it.